Ram Ram, ma'am.
Ram Ram. Okay, we'll start the session. Whoa. Sahana bhavatu, Sahano bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-padam Shankaram Loka-shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta-jana-kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma-vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma-vidwaram. Before we start the session, I thought we should go over the the Sadhana Chatushtaya and the Shat Sampatti. What is our aim towards? That was the first shloka. For us, who is an adhikari? And what is it that we need to have this Atma Vidya, the Brahma Vidya? The Shat Sampatti, we were looking at Shama Dama. Shama is the ability to keep a mind calm. That is basically being a master of your mind. Dama is being a master of the senses. What does the master mean? A master is one who decides when to engage with the mind and when not to engage with the mind. And what to engage the mind in and what not to engage the mind in. That is Shama. Dhamma is what to engage the senses in and what not to engage the sense in. I am a master of it. I am not a slave to the senses. The moment the senses, something comes up, I get all activated. Compulsively, I act. No. When I have Dhamma, I am a master of the senses. Perfect alignment between the mind and the senses. Titiksha. To maintain a balance and be able to bear it when undesired situations arise. To maintain a balance and equilibrium, to have a certain order within, even in a chaotic situation. That is, this titiksha, they also call it like entropy. What is my ability to be stable and in order and in balance and in harmony even when the situation outside is not in balance? My balance in chaos. That is titiksha. Shraddha. Putting a foot forward before you get the fruit of the action. It's beautifully told. Most of the time, we don't take a step because we are afraid. What will happen? What I don't know. I need to know everything before I take that step. To just take that step and know that wherever it leads, I will go. Shraddha. It is total, I am able to let go of my control. My need for control, rather. Uparati means enjoying anything that you do, even if it is a small thing. I am excited. Whatever I'm doing, I'm just happy. I'm very excited. I do it with absolute involvement, with absolute dedication, with absolute sincerity, as though I'm doing it for the first time. Even though I maybe have been doing it for many, many years. That is Uparati. Samadhana means contentment. When we develop these, this is a strength of character, right? We become. So slowly, as this happens, our chitta shuddhi happens. Our mind settles down. The vritti and kleshas, the amount of activity in the mind reduces. And there is more focus. There's no more equanimity. There's more balance within me. And there is more seeking to know the highest truth. Always. Mumukshutvam increases. And also this one I wanted to reiterate. Omkara. Our everything is pervaded by Omkara. Yes, Divya. Here only.
Ma'am, can you share this slide in the group?
Page I will share in the group. This page.
Okay.
Both of these I will share, this and this. All the whole slide, everything I can share. You will also get the shlokas there. I'll share the PPT. So, Omkara, it is not like it is on the top. It is not like that. Omkara is the base. Like gold is the base for all. Like gold is the base for all jewel. Like that, Omkara is the base for the whole world. Without gold, whether I take a chain, whether I take a earring, whether I take a bangle, everything has gold is its substratum. There is no jewelry without the substratum, gold. Like that, there is nothing, there is no existence for this jiva without the Supreme Conscious, Omkara. So, Omkara is the substratum on which the vasanas are like impurities. And because of the vasanas, there is like the white light goes through the prism of vasanas to show the multiple, the body and mind and intellect. And through these, we perceive the world. Through the body, I perceive different objects. Through my eyes, through my ears, I perceive objects. I listen to the sounds. Through the mind, I feel emotions. Through the intellect, I think thoughts. This is something that Gurudev uses a lot. Okay. So I just wanted like a revision on that. And we will continue. I will request somebody to start the chant. Start chanting from verse 1. Anyone else? Last time, I think it was Varalakshmi who did it?
No, ma'am. Today only I have written everything in Tamil and...
Okay, please, if you're ready, please go ahead and chant.
Okay. Tabo bhikshina papanam santanam vitaraginam mumukshinam bekshayoyam Atma Bodha vidiyate Bodho anya sadhanebhyo hi Sakshan mokshaika sadhanam Pakasya vahnevat jnanam विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति अविरोधितया कर्म न अविद्यां विनिवर्तयेत् विद्या विद्यां निहन्त्याद्येव तेजस्तिमिरसङ्गवत् परिच्छिन्न इव ज्ञानात् तन्नासे सदि केवलः स्वयं प्रकाशते ह्यात्मा मेघावायोम् अशुमानिव. I think
fifth one we started, I think, last week.
Yes. अज्ञानाकलुषं जीवं ज्ञाना अभ्यासात् विनिर्मलं कृत्वा ज्ञानं स्वयं न चेयत् जलं गदघरेणुवत्.
Correct. Very good. Thank you. Okay. So you can read the word by word translations.
Ajnana kalusham, defiled by ignorance. Jivam, the egocentric self. Jnana abhyasat, by constant practice of self-knowledge. Nirmalam, pure. Kritva, having made. Jnanam, self-knowledge. Swayam, itself. Najayat, disappears. Jalam, water. Gadakarenuvat, has the powder as the powder of kataka nut.
Correct.
Everything I have written in Tamil and I am reading.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know Sanskrit, ma'am. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Okay, so defiled by ignorance, the egocentric self, by constant practice of self-knowledge, pure, having made self-knowledge itself disappears, water as the powder of the kataka nut. Before we go on to the meaning, what do you think this means?
Again, it is comparing only. If you constantly practice, it purifies. Like the kadaka nut purifies the mud water. What we have to practice means self-knowledge. We have to continuously, if we practice, that will purify us from the ignorance.
Very nice. Atma Vicharam. Self-knowledge. Jnana Abhyasam. That is Jnana Abhyasam, self-knowledge of the self. Or that what is this knowledge of the self? It is that thinking is Atma Vicharam. The more Atma Vicharam we do, they say the only way this is a direct path. At least this is what is claimed by all the Jnana yogis, that the ones on the path of Jnana yoga. You have Bhakti yoga, you have Raja yoga, you have Jnana yoga and all that, right? So the Jnana yogis, what they say is, with all other paths, there can be a purification. Chitta Shuddhi can happen. But only through Jnana can ignorance be removed. The ignorance cannot be removed without the right knowledge. And what is that right knowledge? It's the knowledge of the self. Without the knowledge of the self, there can be no ignorance, cannot be removed. This is what Jnana yogis claim. All other paths can take you to different levels, can give you a certain kind of bliss. There can be a certain yoga, oneness and everything, but ignorance will be removed only through this. So we live in the world. We see everything as we see it. Nothing will change. For a Jnana Yogi, now suddenly I see only Brahman everywhere? No. I just know that in this whole world, this world is a non-reality because of my own projections. The reality is that white light only, the Atman. So everything that happens in the world, I'm going through it. I'm doing whatever is needed. But I know behind all of this, there is only that supreme consciousness that is working. The only reality in whatever is happening is only the supreme consciousness. When I am working, I move from, as I go in the path of Jnana Yoga, I was first as Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara, as though these three are separate. I am the Jiva, there is this Jagat, and then there is Ishvara. This triangular construct is my construct initially. When I come in, as though all of these are separate. When we move towards Jnana Yoga, as Nididhyasana happens, as we understand better, we move to binary. The self, the higher self, the lower self. Over. We move from 3 to only 2. There is no world. Only the higher self and the lower self. The lower self is the ego, the mind-body construct. The higher self is the Omkara, the supreme consciousness, which is the Atman within. Okay. Please continue to read the translation, Varalakshmi ji.
Constant practice of self-knowledge purifies the egocentric self, which is defined by ignorance and having bestowed self-knowledge. It itself disappears, just as the powder of kataka nut settles down after it has cleaned the muddy water. In this verse, an individual
We will stop here. So the kataka net, there is a very nice story of Buddha. Okay, one student said, my mind works too much. I don't know what to do. I am not able to, I want to be able to, I am not able to always, I'm very confused. What should I do? So then Buddha doesn't say anything. He just asks him to bring water to drink from the lake nearby. So this man takes one bowl to bring the water from the lake nearby. When he goes there, he sees that one bull has just come and washed itself in that lake, and the water has become fully muddy. And it walks out. So now this man, the water is very muddy. He cannot bring the water. So he just sits there, waits. The muddy water goes and settles down, and the clear water comes up. Is there. Then he brings the water. While he was waiting there, so Buddha didn't give him the answer. While he was sitting there and waiting, how long I have to wait, all that overthinking mind, the mind also started settling down just like that. The impurities of the lake started settling down. And then the clarity came. I just have to wait. The mud in the water will eventually settle down. There will be clarity. As long as another person doesn't jump into the water again. If one more person jumps into the water again it will keep being muddy. As long as I can stand aside and just be there, the mud will settle down. Similarly, the mind has activities. The activities will settle down. As long as I am the observer. If I jump into the mind again, I am unsettling it. It becomes muddy. I just have to be that observer and allow that mind to settle. Can we have Bhargavi ji? You're ready to read?
Ma'am, what is this Kataka nut?
I don't know what it is. Something like mud only, you think.
For Hindi, it is put as Nirmali powder like that.
Oh, Nirmal powder, is it?
Nirmali, like that they have written. I
Even in
searched it.
alum that happens, no? Something it will just absorb, it will settle everything.
And now it is like a chemical they are using it, but for this Kataka nut is in Hindi it is at Nirmali powder something.
It is like
no,
soap
I
nut.
searched in.
Soap nut we use in Ayurveda, no? For
No,
washing
soap
silk
nut
It
is
will
sarees.
bring
to wash.
foam, right, Bhargavi ji?
Huh?
No.
Coconut will bring foam.
Yeah, and it will use only to clean your hair. It is not soap nut. That is different. This see, I don't know. I searched and I came to know it is called as Nirmali powder like that. It put in Google. I searched.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll do that. And alum is called Fitkari in Hindi.
Okay.
Aarti ji, right now I don't have the book because recently we shifted the room to accommodate my mother-in-law. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I know. You're glad you're joining. That's fine. No
Yes.
problem. Okay. So anybody else wants to read the next paragraph? If you have the book.
Am I?
Prema ji wants to read? Oh, okay. Gramachandra.
Yeah. I'll read.
Okay, we will. She's not ready. You have not-
Ugliness, the ugliness. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead, Prema ji. In this verse,
the ugliness of our, that only I have to read.
no, before that, in this verse, an individual is defined as the self.
Okay. 1 minute. Huh? In this verse, an individual is defined as the self that has been defiled by ignorance. Spiritual ignorance gives rise to the agitations of the intellect and the blabbering of the mind. The mind-intellect equipment reflects the light of the consciousness, and the self thus conditioned by the mind, and intellect is the individual. The one suffering the limitations of matter is this ego, which is comparable with our own reflections that we see in mirrors. It is but natural that we look distorted if the reflecting surfaces are concave or convex.
Correct. Yes.
Continue or?
No.
Okay.
Any thoughts? Please share what you feel with this.
Please muted.
Yes, Divya.
No, my son is unmuted. Please mute. Please mute.
So the one suffering the limitations of matter is this ego, which is comparable with our own reflections that we see in the mirror. The image in the mirror is not the reality, right? I am here. That is only an image. Similarly, the ego is only an image. It is not the reality. If now that image will be, if it is a concave mirror, it will show a certain object. If it is it's a convex mirror, it will show in a different way. Like that, depending upon my vasanas, objects will be shown accordingly. If it is convex, it will be like this. Concave, it is 8. But it is ultimately only an image and it is not a reality. I am looking, say, for example, we are thinking from here. All Western, this used to be, I don't think now many people are traveling, so it may not be the case. People in the West are all very not righteous. Correct? Very too much freedom they have. It is not, that is not right. So that is an image. Is that the image or a reality? Do the people who are, once you go there, you see them, you start seeing, oh, these are people, okay, they dress differently, but they're different from us. This is their way of living. This is our way of living.
Because of globalization, it is coming to we are coming to know about that.
Yes. But before that,
Yeah.
when it was different, we just had once, we just
Yeah.
look at the outside and we form an image.
But that was a
Both,
limited
they had
belief.
different image about us and we had different
They
image about
look
them.
at us and
Yeah.
we think we are dark, we are
We are snake charmers.
we are very poor. India is poor. Is an image,
Yeah.
not a reality, right?
Correct.
So even in our day-to-day dealing, if we become an observer, every moment an image is coming in my mind, either as a visual or as a sentence or as a belief. In two ways, these images come in our mind. There are two filters, two ways in which the filters will come in the mind. The superimpositions, the prisms that deflect the truth. One is either the image, some past memory. Oh, my child is going in the lift. I read this in the newspaper. Oh, I'm scared that my child is going. I will also go in the lift with the child. Or I'm scared. That flash of that newspaper words that I read came in my mind. Okay. And this news ka flash comes a lot for people, right? Or some memory from the past. I am going I was going by cycle. I fell down. My parents scolded me. So now my child is going. That memory will come and I will also scold the child now. Why you are going by cycle? You fell down. I told you, don't go. You will fall. You will do this. In terms of image, or there are filters constantly. And with that filter, what happens constantly? The truth is getting deflected into a subjective reality, which is not the ultimate truth. When I become aware of this, that the thought and the image is not real, it is only an image. It is only the mirror ka image. If I see and if it is convex and I say Aarti looks like that, it is not true. Like that, every word, every sentence, every image that comes in my mind, I should know if it is the mind, in the mind, it is not the ultimate truth. Because even that mind is working through the consciousness shining through it. So now I will not do anything. I will sit, anything in the mind, I will not believe. I have a power of choice.
Yeah, we have intellect
We have
to decide.
So now I choose. Something comes up, I'm feeling scared. When I become an observer, I am not caught with the fear. I have the power to go and face the fear, overcome, and say the fear is there, but the self is not afraid. I will go ahead with it. So the spiritual ignorance gives rise to the agitations on the intellect and the blabbering of the mind. This blabbering is called vrittis. Lots of vrittis in the mind. The mind-intellect equipment reflects the light of the consciousness, and the self, thus conditioned by the mind and intellect, is the individual. We experience ourselves as separate from that consciousness the supreme consciousness, because of this mind, body, intellect, vasanas. But at the base of it, we are all one consciousness, like the ocean. We experience ourselves separately because the wave is separate. Each wave is coming separately. And we think we are the wave. We forget that we are the ocean only at the end of the day. Imagine all of us, you, me, everything. This is like a wave. This whole thing is an ocean and we are waves arising in it. There's no difference between you and me. Only the wave becomes, one wave is taller, one wave has a different shape, one wave has a, but when will you say a wave and an ocean are different? They are all jal. They are all just water at the end of the day. Like that, we are all that supreme consciousness only, who have a deflected image. And hence we experience ourselves as the jiva. And this jiva suffers the limitations. The wave thinks I am the wave and forgets the ocean. The one suffering the limitations of the matter is this ego, which is comparable with our own reflections that we see in the mirror. It is but natural that we look distorted if the reflecting surfaces are concave or convex. Okay. The next paragraph. Any thoughts from this?
No, ma'am.
Any experiences that you have had sometime? I'll just 1 second open the door. Have we ever experienced? You just have to observe one day, today. If I go through it, when all I had images, and what we forget is to whom are these thoughts arising in? To whom are these emotions coming in? We will look at the image and we think in the mirror, but we can never see ourselves, right? Without the mirror.
Yes.
But I still know I am there, even if the mirror is not there. My existence is my pramana. That is my only pramana. Anything that comes as in the mind as an image or as a thought, there is an object. But when I have to experience, when I have to say I, the body is not me, the mind is also not me. The I, how will I know? How can I tell? Only I can tell. Only I can experience this I. It is other things are object, but this I alone is only an experience. It's not an object.
I get this experience when I stand in a crowd, like in metro station, when there's a heavy crowd in Majestic Metro, too many crossings, too many people. Who I am standing there, who I am out of thousands of people. I was just lost in myself. Then I realized after listening to all your talks and all, I realized, oh, this is the body. Who is lost is me, the actual me. I was lost there, seeing all the crowd up, down, where to go. Everyone is like a wave. Everyone is like a wave in the ocean.
Yes, yes.
We don't connect with anyone. Everyone is a stranger to everyone. And in the crowd, just I was observing. Then I forgot myself. Then I realized where I'm standing, where to go, and all. When I came to my body consciousness, that where I am standing, where I have to go, then I realized your lesson there, standing in the crowd, like how we get lost ourselves. So then to know the between body and actual me.
Yes. Beautiful, Bhargavaji. Beautiful. To be connected with my existence in the crowd like that.
Yes.
That's very nice. Okay. Premaji, we can read the next paragraph.
Yes, I'll read. The ugliness of our reflections can end only when the reflecting surfaces are either destroyed or straightened. Similarly, the perversions of the individual can be ended only when the mind intellect equipment has become steady and clean. An absolutely clean and steadied mind is no more a mind, since mind is but a thought flow. Where the mind has ended, there the egocentric perceived so long existing as the same of individuality rebounds to its original nature, the self. Continue or?
No, we will wait. Say you have a candle. On top of the candle, you keep an opaque glass. Can you see any light on the other side? There'll be dullness. And on top of that, you keep a translucent glass. Some light. You keep a transparent glass. The light seeps through very, like this. This mind, when I am not able to see any options, when I don't feel the freedom, whenever there is a lot of agitation, when I am totally caught with one thing, when this expanded awareness has become caught with one finite thing, and that is running again and again and again in the mind, and I am going through emotions, why did this happen? And then I'm going through guilt, and then I'm going through regret, and I'm going through thinking I was right, and blame, and all of that. When that is happening, what is that glass like? Opaque, translucent, or transparent?
Opaque.
Opaque. So now this clean and steadied mind, we have to get through. So what should we do for the clean and steadied mind? We just saw a story, the kataka nut. What should we do?
We have to put something like Katakana, like Dhyana, Japa, Shloka to keep it clean and
First, it
connected
has
with
to
the
settle.
soul.
Yeah. So the mind, instead of being a slave to whatever is happening in the mind, I give the mind something to do. Chitta Shuddhi. The mind needs something. Right now, it's very active. If I say just to be quiet, it's not going to be quiet. So I give it the kataka nut, the cleansing nut, which is a japa or something. So, and I am taking control now. I'm saying, sorry, whatever you are working, I don't know, you do what I am telling you to do. Okay. And I start doing the japa, and slowly what happens? It becomes translucent.
Yeah.
You will have different thoughts when it becomes translucent. Slight light, little bit. Maybe they also had some reason, that's why, but still.
Yes. But
Okay.
how wonderful, no, the mind, how it gets thought. So many times we will not be thinking about the subject, but random thoughts will be coming in the mind. And I get surprised. See, this subject was not in my mind. How the thought came?
Idle mind is a devil's workshop. So give your life. That mind is like the genie only. You have to give it something to do. Otherwise, it will. So the whole day you take one chant.
Like this Prabha gave 21 days challenge, no? I remember that now I am not good at drawing, good at Rangoli, anything. But anyway, I start do something. So that always we may forget to do japa. Though I do japa, sometimes it also slips.
Correct.
So better to do some whatever comes to my mind instead of keeping that. At least write A B C D I E F Kannada, which I know something what we know in the younger days. Start doing that. Enjoy that.
Keep doing something of your own accord. And that japa, even if after the thought come, you realize it, you can take up the japa to push that out. Right? Something. But like you said, anything. You can sit and draw. Give your mind something to do. You choose what you want to do. Don't allow the mind to choose for you. So then it becomes a translucent, and then it moves to transparent. And when it is transparent, where the mind, when it becomes transparent, it is almost like the mind has ended. When the mind has ended, there the ego center, perceived so long, existing as the sense of individuality, rebounds to its original nature, the self. That is what they call it as the no mind state. The no mind state, absolute. In Buddhism, they will call it no mind. Okay. But in Advaita, we don't say no mind, because the mind is the reflector of the self also for us as a jiva. But anyway. So, but in terms of experience, when the mind is absolutely quiet and stilled, there's no mind, and then only my existence is there. So at that time, the truth gets revealed. Every cloud will pass. Every emotion will eventually pass. The muddy water will eventually settle down. If it does, it will, it may settle down in a minute, if it may settle down in an hour, it may settle down in a year, it may settle down in 10 years. Otherwise, it will at least settle down at death. At some point, it will settle down, at least at death. I cannot escape my prarabdha. So just be an observer, whatever it is. It is there, I just go through it. Any thoughts?
Like you said, we cannot escape our prarabdha. So how I should live? The question comes, how I should live? It's like we'll be born in a house, will be brought up, will be conditioned according to our bringing up. And after marriage, we'll come to a new house, many challenges. This Vidya was not known that I should I should endure my prarabdha so that I may not attract a bigger prarabdha by avoiding this. So by the time we know that, we would have done many mistakes, many like wrong decisions, wrongdoings, whatever. And now we have come to know that I should not avoid any responsibilities, any duties comes on my way. We'll do that. But how to get the knowledge at the
How to
earlier
correct the
days of...
past?
No, I'm not talking about correcting the past. Past is gone. We cannot go and repair it. Right now, living in the right now, I have learned it. I am living according to that. But if I had learned it 30 years before, I would have lived a better life, quality life. Like how to introduce this to children, for the growing children at the younger days. And even after learning all this, they may not practice. The chances also there, na? They may
So
have
that
the
is
knowledge.
where we have to understand, first of all, that everything, we are not the doer. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीत मा गृदः कस्यवित् धनम्. This is Ishavasya Upanishad, the first shloka. Everything is pervaded by Isha. Everything belongs to him. Don't hoard somebody else's dhanam. He is the doer. Don't try to hoard his doing, as so you are the doer.
So whatever happens is Bhagavad Ichche. According to that, it has happened.
Yes. We can only explore the help the child, expose the child. We can only do our bit. We can change ourselves.
Yeah.
When we grow, even that is his doing only. The Supreme Conscious is only guiding us, because our vasanas, somewhere in our previous janmas, we have put these divine spiritual vasanas. It has gone in. Because of which now through that, and then we are having a choice to go with it or the material world, but we are choosing this to come here regularly and coming here. Okay.
So no need to regret. I should thank that at least I have got this path now.
At least we are walking this path. Let the important fact to understand here is whatever accumulation we are doing, it is not going to waste. It will not go waste. If we can practice with so much sincerity in this Janma itself, 1 minute, if we have that kind of adhikari, if we have
Intensity.
grown well, in a second we will know. We will attain that moksha. Even otherwise, it will enable us, like gravity, he is pulling us towards the center, heart center, constantly. Yes. We just have to make sure he is doing the job of pulling us to him. We just have to make sure all the dams that we are putting in between, we should remove.
But I am so happy. I really tell you how the satsanga works. When I get up in the morning, when I start cooking, the words you said, Appa, how to cook, and you divinized it. Like today, so each and every work has become like this to me, even thought. So that by nature, we are very lazy human beings. We plan to postpone the things. Somehow, until it is very much urgent and important, it comes to urgent and important quadrant, we plan to postpone that. So now each and every step of the day, from the cooking, whether it is coffee, whether it is cleaning the house, or again the satsangas classes, everything, I thank that you are bringing me to the channel and sharing of all the participants, like you shared how the cooking and your father's spirituality, the way you live. Even I have spoken to you personally, how you live your life. It is all giving me so much guidance, light on my path. I'm really happy and correcting myself each and every step of the day. So is this the way? Am I right?
Correct. Every step of the way, we move from complaint to divinity. Complaint to divinity. Complaint to divinity. If we divinize every moment, that is why even nature, if you see, look at Shakti. Shakti and Ishvara are not separate. Ishvara, if Ishvara is the knowledge, Shakti is
kinetic energy.
Kinetic. Ishvara is the potential.
Potential and
Shakti is the kinetic. The one who brings that knowledge to motion is the Shakti. Now, fire is there. In the fire, the heat is its Shakti.
Yes.
Isn't it? So that is why Ishvara alone, Shakti keeps changing. It may take different forms. But without that Shakti, Ishvara and Shakti are together. There is no purpose for Ishvara without the Shakti, and Shakti has no existence without the Ishvara. So, like that, every thought also, everything that comes up, instead of getting into a guilt of why is this thought coming, why am I like, divinize that also as Shakti.
Yes. Harichitta, it has come, Harichitta. So how I replace it with Harinama.
Harinama. So this is somewhere, this is reminding me to take the Harinama.
Yes,
I just divinize even those thoughts. And don't judge it or don't indulge in it and just say, okay, this is also divinity. So even when I think this thought is also divine, then I am automatically going into the divinity. Right? So where is this coming from? I am afraid. Drop the afraid.
Afraid.
If I drop the afraid, what remains? I am.
Yes.
I am angry. What do? We focus on the angry all the time. Why am I angry? Why did that person? When I focus on the angry is the object. I keep focusing on that object, which is a part of my lower self, the ego. And I forget the I am in that. I am. Am means Sat. Sat, exist. My isness is Sat. My amness is Sat. So if I can, instead of focusing on the angry, why am I angry? That person said this, that's why I am angry. Why did I say that in my anger? All the focus is on the anger. If I can just blur the anger away, and then what remains? I am. Shift the focus from there to this. When I do that, I am shifting the focus from my ego to my existence, to my
In
substance.
India, it should be introduced in our academic also, so that it will be
We can
personality
do that, but it
development
will
for
become
them.
a joke like all the yoga happens in school. I think some amount of chanting and all that we can introduce for everybody. But this one has to seek. One has to be, one has to be.
Yes. They have to come on their own.
Yes, they should seek it. But chanting should be definitely introduced for children.
Yes.
Chanting and stories and things like that. Yes.
Thank you. I am so thankful to you for this application, for practical application. It is making me lighter day by day.
Very nice, Bhargaviji.
At least quality life.
So shift your focus from the object. Anger, happy. I am excited is also a object only.
Okay.
One of the things they said during Garuda Purana, we were reading through our this thing. The reason we have 13 days when we don't do puja at the end and 13 days when a child is born also is because when a child is born, the happiness is too much. And when someone passes away, the grief is too much. Both are two sides of the same coin. So at that time, when you are so happy or so that yourself will not be there. Your equanimity be. That's why they say.
Yeah, ma'am, my niece just gave birth in Trivandrum. So my mother said, don't light the lamp for 15 days. I could not understand. It's such a nice thing when you explain it.
Yeah. So pleasure and pain, happiness and distress are two sides of the same coin. Right? So when there is death, it's very sad. When there is birth, it is very happy. Isn't it? So when we are in that happiness and that this thing, what is lost? The self is lost because we are with the ego at that time. And then you also have to be with that because there is a need at that time. So that self is away at that time. So whenever we indulge in happiness and sadness, so here it is saying, where the mind has ended, there the ego center, perceived so long, existing as the sense of individuality, rebounds to its original nature. When there is no mind, you go in that sushupti state. Now, when we look at this no mind state, in waking state, is the mind there? Is the senses there? Yes. Both are there. In the dream state, is the mind there? Is the senses there working? Senses are not working, but the mind is working. Senses, I'm not perceiving anything to my eyes or ears in my dream state. But inwardly, I am perceiving, in fact. There is a sight, there is a hearing that is happening even in my dream.
Yes.
It is not outside, but it is still working. So my senses and my mind are working even in my dream state. Isn't that true? I'm still hearing and I'm still seeing. It's just that my eyes are not open. But my senses are working. So in my sushupti, deep sleep, do I experience the senses? Do I experience the mind? And in this state, how do we feel? We
Somewhat complete surrender.
We feel all the absence. We feel absence of everything.
You feel
Still.
absolutely stillness, no? You feel so happy. In the morning, I don't feel like getting up because I want to stay in that state. Isn't it? I want to stay in that state in that morning because that is, the mind is not there, the senses is not there. It's just peace. There is just total balance. There's just no memory, some kind of fulfillment. Absolutely. Isn't it? So that's why I don't feel like that mind. And then slowly everything will start flooding in. The memory will start flooding in. And then I'm like, oh, I have to get up. Isn't it? So Perceived, so existing as the sense of individuality. So at that time, even my existence, I don't even know I exist at that time when I'm in Sushupti. In my deep sleep, do I even know I am there?
No.
But somewhere I was there, because the next day morning there is a continuity. I say I slept well. I had no sense of my mind. I had no sense of myself also at that time. But I know there is a continuity and I slept well. Or I didn't sleep well. That continuity is there. If I didn't touch the Sushupti, I don't feel fulfilled. Now our idea is through this meditation, through this thing, to be in that Sushupti state. To reach that Sushupti state, whenever I am afraid, drop the afraid, focus on the I am. And the center of the I is in the heart. Hridaya Guha Madhye. I think of that I. Where is that aham? Where I am, go there. And then slowly, as you focus, as you practice that, you will get into a waking Sushupti. A waking Sushupti, where you don't experience the mind, the senses, nor you experience yourself. There is just the darkness. I don't even experience my I-ness there. There's no I-ness also. It has gone. Like your deep sleep, no?
In that state, we will lose the track of time also, right?
Absolutely. That is beyond Kalatita. We go beyond time.
Oh,
Kalatita. That state is beyond Kala. Very true. So like that Sushupti, I am angry. I am like this. Point out the emotion, drop the emotion. Don't focus on that emotion. Focus on I am. Where is that I? I is aham. Aham, 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 like a rhythm in the heart center. And then keep focusing on that rhythm in the heart center. It will take you deep within. You'll experience that state, that Sushupti, that emptiness of the mind, the senses, and the I-ness also. I-ness also disappears there. And when I go deep, even that wave, I don't realize there is a wave. There is just the ocean of peace and bliss. Okay. Practice this. It is beautiful. Even once it works for you, it will be wonderful experience. What time is up? We'll read one more paragraph and then. Premaji? Are you there, Premaji? Okay, someone else. Marlakshmi ji, you are unmuted. Please read.
No, I am coming.
I'm coming. Okay.
I am in the other room, so I came to the light. One
Okay.
minute, please. I thought it is going to over.
I thought we said till 7:45, so we'll go on.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, now I have to read that
Quietude of the mind and the ultimate.
Quietude of the mind and the ultimate sublimation of all its thought currents is a single process accomplished by meditation. Jnana Bhyasa, the process of negating our identifications with the false matter, envelopments, and asserting our divine spiritual nature constitutes the art of meditation, and this process is explained exhaustively in the verses that follow in this very textbook.
Thank you, Premaji. You'll stop here. So in a way, that sublimation of the thoughts, think of yourself, even After a wave coming in, think of yourself moving from the waking world to the dream world to the to the deep sleep world, where everything disappears. Visualize that. Think of that. It is something we can relate with. At night we do, but now that is very unconscious. I don't even know when I'm going to sleep. I just go and put my head on the thing and the sleep happens. The dream happens. The Sushupti state happens. And here I am consciously waiting for it to happen in the waking state itself. Okay? So, please mark this paragraph. We will start with this paragraph again. Anything anybody wants to share or tell before we close?
Ma'am, I've started chanting Lalita Sahasranama that day. Yes.
Very good.
I thought it would be difficult, but I learned some Sanskrit in school, and that script is Hindi only now. So
Yeah. Lalita
We used to
Sahasranama
hear
is a little more of a tongue twister than even Vishnu Sahasranama.
it is more difficult pronunciation, sir.
Yeah, but once you learn it, but your mind will be completely with it as long as you're chanting. Because you find it difficult, that is meditation, right? You're putting
Yeah, you
your
have to pay
mind,
attention.
Don't
when
unmute.
you're putting your mind on one thing. Very good.
Thank you.
She helps, Lalita helps with reducing our vrittis and kleshas. Klesha is that which I get stuck on. Vrittis, there are lots of activities. Some thought comes, some thought goes. As long as they're coming and going easily, it is still okay. But when I get stuck like a broken record on certain things, that is when the problem comes. I get stuck like a broken record, ding, ding, again and again. Why this, why that? That comes, no? That's where the problem. So Lalita is the destroyer of all the kleshas within us. So chanting Lalita Sahasranama.
Ranjini takes class now about Lalita Sahasranama. She teaches very nice. You can join, Divya.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. He is also from Artist Friend. They only conducted that.
Yeah. He's a
I
part
think
of Sanatana Guru.
Gala. He said that they've already they've completed a few verses, and so once I start from the beginning, then you can join.
Yeah, I learned from her.
Dear, can you give me the link, or can you ask her to add me in that Lalita Sahasranam? Even I am not.
I think it's over right now. When we announce the next one, you can join.
Okay, thank you.
Just recently got over. We may start again. Then I will share.
Sure. Thank you.
So Ramachandranji, you will send the summary of the class.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a small this thing and share the summary, madam.
Yes.
I'll do it. But are you okay for the so that I don't forget certain points? You will be able to share this also videos in some time, or by?
No, I will put it. It will be there on YouTube.
Okay.
Others are talking.
Yeah? It will also be there on YouTube. And it's like,
Sorry,
you're saying something, Ramachandranji?
Yeah, by tomorrow, if it comes to you,
it will be fine.
Okay.
Yes, it will be perfect. Right after this class, it will be available on YouTube. Okay. And
I think on Lalita Sahasranamam, I thought, okay, it's fine. So Lalita Sahasranamam is something which I chant every day, but it is at a peculiar time that I'm able to do. I think it all started that my daughter was telling, Papa, you after food, you just don't go and sit down in front of the computer and then you must walk for half an hour. She is already in the medical field, so I have lots of things on my health with that. So she kept on telling me, you walk. So I thought, how to walk inside the house and where you can't go outside and all. So what I did was, I had a recording of YouTube recording of Lalita Sahasranam, put it there and then started chanting. And now I have learnt it by heart. I don't need any recording also. So every day without fail, after dinner, maybe it's around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I just get it, switch it on, and then I keep chanting it, can keep walking. It takes about half an hour, and then it's a blissful state for me. And then that is so compulsory that even at 10 o'clock or 10:30 or sometimes even at 11 o'clock, I have to keep it on. Then only I go to sleep.
Yeah. That's
This is what
beautiful.
I was able to learn it long back, but then I had not memorized it. Now, continuously listening to it and then chatting along with that, it has automatically come.
Right.
And
Right.
regarding this learning aspect of Lalita Sahasranam, there is one class conducted by Vyoma, Samskrita Patashala, that is in Bangalore base. I don't know whether you have heard. I'll share a link of that Lalita Sahasranam. I think they have started probably some 10 verses they must have done it. This is just a chanting class and then they teach you. No, they are not getting into the meaning. But this is one, this in case somebody wants to start learning, because the Ucharanam, the way, because they are Sanskrit based, so the teacher also clarifies in case any doubts are there, and then she gives a practice session also. So this has been going, some 2-3 batches have already been done. Now it is going on, maybe I think some 4-5 weeks have already done. So I think if somebody wants, they can enroll and then they can learn also. I'll share, if at all I get that link, I shall share it in. But
Yeah.
is it okay if I share? Because this is from some other institution, it is not from your Sanatana Dharma, this thing.
Gurukulam.
But
You can, but we also have Rajini ji who does a very good job of, she's very good with chanting. You can also share, and whenever we start this, we can also, it's fine, no problem. Now that you have mentioned it, it's okay. You can definitely share.
because there are certain norms which I have to follow, because this is a class that I should bring in some other outside information, sources of information, because everything is
We
available
try
in
to
this world.
restrict it to
So
our sources here, actually. So that otherwise
before
it starts getting flooded. Too many forwards will start coming in. Too many people will start putting in. You can probably just, when you get it in the next class, you can share it in the group instead of putting it in WhatsApp. That will give a thing to others that everybody can share anything. We don't want to crowd the group with too many forwards.
Okay, madam. Okay, I'll not do it. I'll not do it.
You can send it in the chat in the class itself. And
Yeah,
others.
or the best thing is I'll share it with you, and then you can moderate it.
Somebody
You can
wants, you
just,
can get in touch with him.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with
That
you.
is easier. Yeah, directly get in touch with Ramachandran ji.
And ma'am, I don't know, I've heard like Vishnu Sahasranama, you should listen or chant in the morning and Lalita Sahasranam in the evening. Is that the correct?
Yeah, it works because she is Sharada during Lalita Sahasranama during the
Twilight.
nap period,
Ah,
dawn and dusk.
acha.
That will work. Okay, we'll close the session.
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Vishnu Sahasranama morning, what time? Before 12.
See, I am not going to put time and all.
Anytime you can chant it in the
Anytime
evening.
you
Also.
can chant.
Anytime you can chant. It is one this thing super chant. It is a one point solution for all our problems.
Yeah, correct.
Just chanting itself is wonderful. When chanting coupled with this knowledge is going to only make it very powerful for us. Right?
Correct. I think probably, along with that, Sri Venkateshwara Suprapadam only, they say that it should be early morning. And then this Vishnu Sahasranamam is at any time you can do it. On this also a class is available. Many teachers are there, but Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam classes are there. And then they focus on the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, that is important.
That is important. Yeah.
Because these are all Sanskrit based slokas, so the correct pronunciation is very, very important. I mean, not necessary for chanting, it can be in any form. The sincerity is more important than the
and
focus.
We don't have to be afraid if something wrong I chant, will something go wrong. No, that doesn't happen.
Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
My effort should be so that my concentration is high to get every word correctly.
So God wants your sincerity. You chant me like Ram Ram can be Mara 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 also can be like Ram. So nothing happens. Everything is beautiful.
Yes.
See, ultimately, the element of fear, I'm afraid if I chant wrongly, if you remove that fear, as you said, you are there, I am. That's all. I am not afraid. That's how it is.
Thank you so much for all your sharings. We will close the class.
Last week, was there a class, madam? Last week, there was no class, no?
No, because of
Friday.
Diwali, we didn't have.
Sometimes last week we learned something you had mentioned. So
No,
suddenly,
before that, previous week we had learnt about the all the Shat Sampat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last week I was looking because
there was no class.
fortunately you're sending a reminder, so that is very comfortable for everyone to remind themselves that they need not this thing worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ I was thinking from next class if we can have one person volunteer to summarize our discussion from the previous class. Though